Shabbat Shira, the 4th of February, Shabbat morning, the sermon and song will concentrate on the origin and the discipline of the German tradition, comparing in very small segments some phrases that are familiar to us, the way it is sung in Berlin, Vienna, and Frankfurt, basically. So here are a few samples which will give you an indication, and some of it sounds very familiar, and we mix them. This first one, we know it is written by Lewandowski, who was the music director in the Oregenstrasse, the big synagogue that was built in the 19th century and destroyed, of course, in the Nazi period, but now, of course, it's in its glory only the facade, not the regular seating sanctuary. So the Kadosh Kadosh in the sanctification, in the Kedusha, goes like this. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzebaos, Melachon haaretz kevodo. Then the cantor responds in his prayer, continued, and we lead into Baruch Kevod. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mikomo. The cantor continues, the choir comes in with a response. Yilach Adonai le'olam Elohayich Tzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah. We know it, but it is Lewandowski, but we don't know the origin usually, and here's another one that we normally sing. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzebaos, Melachon haaretz kevodo. The cantor chants in between, and then the congregation and the choir, Baruch Kevod Adonai Mikomo. We know it, but there are little differences in the harmonic arrangement and the leading of the voices. Now, most delicate that I find is this one from the Frankfurt tradition, like this. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzebaos, Melachon kevodo. Cantor continues. Choir. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mikomo. You will find that the difference between the choir and the cantor usually is in the meter. For instance, the cantor sings in 4/4, which is a little bit more elongated, and the choir sings in a 3/4, which resembles the waltz. Tam 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 tam. I want to give you just one little other example. Let's go to the Enke Eloheinu. Everybody knows Enke Eloheinu, Enke Adonenu, Enke Malkeinu, Enke Moshienu. Lewandowski wrote many different versions for here, and this is the Enke Eloheinu. It's written in the books, actually, the out-of-print classics from European. There are 25 volumes from which I take my material. So here's a sample of Enke Eloheinu. very, very similar to the one we sing. Now let's go to the next one, in the Frankfurt tradition, not the Sulzer, the Frankfurt tradition, which is again very, very delicate and lovely. This is Enkel Eloheinu for Rosh Hashanah. You have to understand that these masters used to do different versions of different prayers for the different time of the year. So the worshipper coming to the synagogue understood by the music and by the sound of the music what time of the calendar of the year. So here's Enkel Eloheinu for Rosh Hashanah. Again, please come on Shabbat Shira, February 4th. During the sermon, we will do a little bit of it, but much more at 1 o'clock for a lecture demonstration of some of the voices that were recorded in the beginning of the century, namely Israel Alter, my uncle of course, the chief cantor of Hanover, Manfred Lewandowski, the nephew of the great Louis Lewandowski, whose music we hear all the time, and Joseph Schmidt was one of the great opera singers, Jewish opera singers, leader, a recording voice, and we will finish with a German Kedusha that was written in the German language, and in many places it is still sung. I invite you to join us.